Hi friends, hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello and welcome to Yass or Pause. Hi, we hit that one extra hard today. Wow, okay, so candle of the day, strawberry pound cake, amazing. A lot of my candles are packed, so we're repeating a lot lately. I apologize. I promise once we get in the new place, we'll have some new candles, but hello! Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. So today we are making the tomato balsamic herb chicken. This meal ended up being delicious, and it was also super easy to make. I actually made this one by myself. Normally Charles and I do the HelloFreshes together, but it was during his lunch break and I was on a mission. I wanted to make him lunch, and that's one of the things I love about HelloFresh. It's really easy to do. Like, even someone like me who is not the greatest chef or cook can reasonably make a pretty decent meal, which was nice. This meal turned out really good. There was also one that we made earlier in the week that was the shepherd's pie, which I kind of wish I'd filmed that one too, because that one turned out so good. Like, if you're gonna try the HelloFresh and there's the shepherd's pie, get it. You will not regret it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. It ended up being like a masterpiece. It was so good. And the other thing I love about HelloFresh is that it's very flexible and fits our lifestyle. So for example, we just didn't really have anything for lunch today. So I was like, hey, I'll whip this up for us, this little chicken and pasta dish. Not only is HelloFresh stress-free and really easy to fit to your lifestyle, but on top of that, they're committed to giving back. So they've donated over 4 million meals to charity in 2020, and they're continuing to step up their food donations amid the coronavirus pandemic, which is one of my favorite parts about the company. This meal ended up turning out amazing. I really liked it, and I was very proud of myself. I feel like I probably could have diced the tomatoes like just a little bit thinner, just so it wasn't as chunky, but it ended up being super yummy, super delicious, and even Charles said I did a good job, so I got little bonus points for that. If you're interested in trying HelloFresh, you can use code SMOKYGLOW12 to get up to 12 free meals across your first 4 HelloFresh boxes, including free shipping on your first box. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and being a continued sponsor and supporter of the channel, and for keeping me and Charles well fed. All right, let's jump right into the video. Today's video, there is so much to talk about and like so much new makeup, and I think it's low key because summer is starting. I feel like right around this time every year, there's always like just a boatload of new releases. We seemingly never get a break. But the first one I want to talk about, I'm gonna try to tread carefully here. I'm gonna let you guys know right now that I am biased on this topic that we're about to talk about. I have a bias. I would argue it's a relatively strong bias, but I have a bias because a brand that I really don't like copied my absolute favorite product from a brand that I happen to like a lot. So Morphe, with their new Morphe 2 line, which I foolishly commended them for. I was like, yeah, Morphe, actually, that's a good idea. Like appealing to sort of a younger demographic, making this very no makeup Glossier vibes. Like it's a little bit Glossier, but like whatever. Okay, I can respect that. They came out with basically the Kaja bento boxes. I don't know why. Normally stuff like this doesn't make me like mad, but I think it's just because I like really love the Kaja bento boxes. Like I've loved them for years. I own all of them. They are my favorite shimmer formula by far. And the thing I love so much about them, and the thing that I loved about them from the beginning, is just how innovative it was. Like the packaging, the concept, the glitter toppers, like I loved everything about that. And Morphe, they've stolen that. Like they've stolen this. Like I don't know how else to put that other than this is very obvious. And I'm not alone in this. First of all, thank you to everyone who tagged me in this. I got tagged in this post a bunch of times. And also every every single comment is literally talking about how this is a blatant copy of Kaja. And like that tells me like, oh, I'm not alone in thinking this. Like other people also see this, because like how could you not? It's a very blatant ripoff of their concept. I think they tried to make it a little bit different by including a cream product. So it seems like they have this sort of like creamy matte. They have like a kind of low impact shimmer, like a satin, a shimmer, and then a glitter. So it's definitely like a little bit different in the sense that I think it's gonna suck, but I'm sorry. It actually doesn't look very good. Like the swatches on these don't look great. I don't really love pressed glitter in general, so I would already be out on these if I like liked Morphe and didn't think they were blatantly ripping off a concept I really like. And honestly, I don't even fully know what their intention was with creating this product, because the Kaja bento boxes are toppers. That's like the whole point. And they come in the different gradients. So if you want to do a gradient of the same type of topper, you can do that very easily. If you want a gradient of pink, you grab rose water, you pop all three on. Like it works. This to me is supposed to be for like your eyes, but also your lips, but also your cheeks. But the thing is, the only thing that you could really use feasibly like on your cheeks would be maybe the more high shine glitter thing, and the cream obviously you could use on your lips or your cheeks. You can't use a pressed glitter on your cheek. I mean, I guess you could if you're like Coachellaing it up, like go off. But like if they had just kind of ripped off Kaja in the sense that like everything could be a highlighter, blush topper, or an eye topper, like, but they're all in the same vein of colors so that you can use them together well, that would have made more sense to me. But to randomly throw in a cream product and then all of these different finishes just feels very weird. Like feels like it might be difficult to sort of utilize and work with. If you even look at the color stories, some of them are very obviously like cohesive and what is the word? When everything is like the same color. Monochromatic. Okay, some of these are monochromatic, like the beige one and the purple one, and even the pink to an extent are fairly monochromatic. But then you have this other one that's like a gold, a pink, a brown, and a blacky gold. And it's like not even close to being monochromatic or making any sense. So I'm trying to like give objective criticisms too, besides the fact that they just blatantly copied this. But like I'm definitely struggling to see the point or the way that I would use these like if I owned them. The price point on them is obviously good, like it's $16 and the Kaja bento boxes are $21. So I do feel that was a purposeful decision to make them cheaper. I think what was funny to me about this was a lot of people in the comments were like, what? Morphe has never stolen designs before. Like, it's not like they're like makeup revolution. And like, that's true. Like, Morphe is not known for being a duping brand. But to say that everything they've come out with has been like an original thing is just like not true. Because they literally started as a private labeled company who like were very shady in the way that they private labeled and like didn't even create their own color stories. They basically just copy and pasted from the private label website. So like my sneaking suspicion is that Morphe is probably kind of running out of ideas a little bit, because they did the Morphe 2 and like that was a great idea, but it was heavily inspired by Glossier and other makeup trends. And it's not a surprise to me that now they're trying to cash in on like K-beauty trends, because K-beauty has been increasing in popularity. I think it's just annoying. Yeah, I think it's just annoying. This annoyed me. I normally don't feel very passionately about stuff like this, but I really just, if you're interested in this product, like just go buy the Kaja bento box. Honestly, like just go buy the Kaja bento boxes. I promise you, they're going to be a much, much better formula than this. So that was my first one. Man, I talked about that for like 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. I swear, I don't even really want to talk about this, but NARS puts out the same frickin' face palette every 6 months. I've seen this before, like not even trying to joke or like beef. I have seen this palette from NARS before. I know that I have. Like they really, I feel like NARS, it's really might be because their packaging is more aesthetically pleasing. I feel like that has to be it. But they are just as guilty as Benefit in the not coming up with anything innovative department. Like they really just don't try. Like they really, I don't know what they're doing, but like this, I've seen this, I know that I've seen this exact palette before. It's the same thing every 3 months. It blows my mind. Speaking of Benefit, okay, they came out with a Hoola Contourist palette. that is basically a contour palette with pretty much, I don't know if this is all of their Hoola shades. I'm pretty sure they have more than this, but it's 4 Hoola shades. The Hoola Light, the original Hoola Bronzer, the Hoola Caramel, and the Hoola Toasted. Here's my biggest sort of thing about this. I could absolutely see this being utilized for like makeup artists and things like that. Like that makes perfect sense to me. But I guess I'm just a little confused because I do feel like contouring in general, like contour kits, have kind of gone out of style. I'm not saying nobody contours anymore. Like I know people still contour, but I do think that just bronzing in general has kind of become a lot more popular than doing like a bunch of different levels of contouring and things like that. I feel like the more natural makeup has become a lot more popular. And even in full glam, full beat looks, like I do not contour anymore. Like I only bronze at this point. I feel like this is something that would have made sense to put out at like the peak where there was like a contour craze in like 2015, 2016. Like that would have made a lot of sense. But to come out with it now just feels kind of like, what? I'm just a little confused by it. And I guess I don't really get the point. Like, what is the average person? I guess if you get like really tan in the summer and you're normally very fair and you want, even then though, I really do not understand this product just in general besides for people who are makeup artists. That's the only real thing I can see this for. Okay. Urban Decay did a collaboration with Prince. I want to be fair to Urban Decay here in that I don't know if they really could have done much that would have... Prince is just so iconic that it's like, how do you capture that level of being an icon in eyeshadow palettes? Like, how do you do that? Like, this is just, it's such a tall order to try to come up with something that like really meets that level. And like this doesn't, but I do feel like they tried. Like they put in a bunch of purple, which is like, thank God. And also it seems like the palettes like make a lot of sense and are very cohesive. It seems like they'd be easy to use. I'm glad they did a different format other than like their kind of naked palette. Like I like seeing this smaller, more concise, circular pans. I really love that from them. Like I think that overall aesthetically, these look very cool. I will say, I'm not like the biggest Prince fan, so I feel like if I were a Prince fan, I can understand being very offended by this collection, but I genuinely feel like they tried. Like I feel like they put effort in. It seems like they're really trying to do something kind of funky and cool and different, from the way the packaging opens to the actual style of packaging. Like they're branching out and they're trying. Am I gonna buy it? No. And I feel so bad saying that because I feel like in all of these videos, like the will I buy it's and the anti-hauls, everything, you like want something from a brand, and all I've been screaming about for a year is for Urban Decay to stop doing the fucking naked palettes. And they finally stopped doing it, and they finally stopped like putting out naked, and they tried something different, and they like kind of took a little bit of a risk, and I'm still not gonna buy it because like I don't want this. Like I don't need anything about this. I'm also not a Prince fan, but I commend them for trying, I guess, because it seems like they did at least something different. I don't know. Am I giving them too much credit? Like, I don't know. I feel like they tried. I feel like for Urban Decay, this is an effort. Like, they put forth effort on this one. And even if they missed the mark, at least something was trying to be accomplished, you know? I gotta say, though, their price points... This palette should have been like $35. $55 is just such a high... I understand that that's like where they normally price their palettes, but this would have been a great one to go even like $42, like just a little bit lower. That's so much money to pay for a palette like this. Like, I don't know. I feel like this could have been their chance to like maybe lower it a little bit, because I really feel like if they lowered their prices too, they'd be, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna pretend to know the like economics of makeup marketing, but I just think personally, if I saw $35 instead of $55 and I was somewhat interested, I would be so much more inclined to buy the palette versus a $55 palette that looks like this. You know? Let's talk about something I like, and this is the Say It collection with BH Cosmetics. Really like this, like a lot. I actually kind of love this. I love the white background with the pop of black, like just aesthetically, the way that they did the packaging, I love. It makes those colors pop so much. And I feel like sometimes BH Cosmetics, they sometimes end up looking like a very like Claire's makeup brand. Like their palettes don't always look aesthetically very nice. This is aesthetically beautiful. Like these palettes look really, really pretty. All of them have great color stories. I've actually debated picking up this one. It's got like the lilac and the periwinkle and the purple. I've debated getting it because it looks really cool. And I like the idea behind it. Like I like the fact that one of them is literally called Fuck Off. Like I like that it's like, let that shit go. Like I like that. I know it's a little corny to have that, but like it's fun. Like it's something different from the brand, especially because usually they're very sort of like, life's a festival. Zodiac collection. Like to see them do something that's a little bit more edgy, especially for them, is cool to see. And I think that these palettes look dope. It's been a while since I've been really excited about a BH Cosmetics palette, but like I am excited by this. And again, I think the price point on these is phenomenal. A $15 price point is so good for something like this. Like you can easily try out their formula, get a vibe for it. Based on the swatches, they look like they're going to perform really, really well. So I'm actually excited about this launch. Like it's been a while since I've been excited about eyeshadow palettes. I feel like I kind of am phasing out of my deep love for eyeshadow palettes a little bit. Like I'm just not super interested in a lot of them that are coming out, but this makes me excited. It's a very, very cool launch. So the next thing I want to talk about is A-Rod's new makeup for men. Okay, I don't think I have a necessarily hot take here. I think this is what a lot of people feel, but I think that it's kind of weird to market like makeup for men because like all makeup is for men. Milk makes a blur stick. Lots of brands make low coverage foundation sticks. To market it as like, this is manly makeup because it's gray and it fits in your pocket is just like a very weird thing. I feel like it's already been said by a lot of creators, but like makeup is very gender neutral. And I also feel like the underlying sexism that comes along with this launch is a little bit disturbing. I feel like we've obviously seen tons of celebrities really cash in on how popular makeup has become by making makeup lines, even when it maybe doesn't make sense for them to do so. But to see like male celebrities who are not known for wearing makeup and have never really expressed an interest in beauty starting to come out with these sort of gimmicky manly men like makeup, it just sits weird with me. Like, I don't know. I feel like I also don't like that the implication here is like, well, this is makeup that men can wear when like there's already so many men who just wear makeup. Like it almost like makes it seem like them doing that is like weird. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm not actually. It makes it seem like it's weird that they would wear like the girly makeup, the woman's makeup. And I think especially given how far we've sort of come in society and there are like cis men who just wear makeup just because like they want to. Like we've totally started to normalize that. And I feel like this launch sets that back a little bit and sort of doesn't allow that growth to happen by putting these sort of like masculine stereotypes on makeup, if that makes sense. Just didn't sit right with me. This whole launch felt very like weird to me. If he had wanted to make a very minimalist makeup collection that was for people who maybe you didn't want them to know that you were wearing makeup, that would have made a lot of sense to me. But to market it specifically as makeup for men, it's literally called Hims. It's just a really like stupid, kind of sexist, bad take that I think is very anti-progressive. And also, I honestly don't really think that this was like made with negative intentions. Like I don't think the intention behind the launch was to do those things, give that message across. Like I don't think he's like trying to be that way. I think it was really just kind of a quick cash grab, but I think it was not at all thought through or talked about the implications that a launch like this might have on the larger makeup community and just men in makeup in general. So that's my take on that. I'll be passing if you couldn't tell. Okay, MAC has done that thing again where they put out something in really, really pretty packaging and I want to buy it just because I like the pretty packaging. They came out with their Botanic Panic collection. Okay, they crushed it with the names. Every year for the spring, MAC, they have done this to me 2 years in a row. They have gotten me on their spring collection. I always, always, always want to buy something from their spring collection because whatever the creative director of the spring collection puts in it is something that I want. Like it's always, I think it's because it's usually floral themed or like pink themed. And I'm just such a sucker for beautiful floral makeup. But I'll tell you what, every year I've gotten these ones, I have decluttered them within the year. I have not used them, or they just haven't been good. Like, I remember I got the one that was like pink marbled with splatter paint. I got that one because I was so in love with the packaging. It had like a glitter overlay and it like wasn't a very good product and it didn't work very well. And it was just a disappointment in general. Like, it just wasn't good. And I feel like with MAC, they always get me on this packaging because it's so pretty. But at the end of the day, I know, and you probably know if you've been buying makeup for a while, if you're actually going to use these products, and chances are you probably won't. And the other chances, they'll probably not be as good of quality as maybe stuff that's in their more main collection. I've noticed that with MAC. Has anybody else noticed that? Their limited edition stuff, sometimes I feel like it used to really hit it out of the park and like be amazing, and it was really sought after, like resold for all this money. Past couple of years, all of their limited edition stuff, to me, having tried stuff from their more like traditional collection and then trying stuff limited edition, it's just always worse quality, which I think kind of sucks. And I wonder if it's just like a me thing, like I just happened to get a couple products that didn't work. I'd be curious, other people who maybe regularly buy these limited edition launches, do you notice that quality difference that like I've kind of noticed? And I think a few other people have talked about before. Not gonna buy that. Really, I'm gonna hold myself to that. Natasha Denona put out a new palette. It's called the Zendo palette. I don't love this. I'm not gonna lie. I've not been in love with Natasha Denona's formulas lately. I understand why people are, because like this is somewhat unique and different. Like, I get it. I am personally not at all interested in a color story like this one. This gives me very strong, like, I'd buy it because objectively it looks really pretty. Like, the layout is really nice. So I'd buy it, but then I wouldn't know how to use it. Like, I wouldn't know what colors to put together. I wouldn't know how to make looks past just like sort of a boring neutral palette. So I don't know if this would be a palette for me. I feel like this is a creative color story. It's just not something, although it's not really, because it's kind of a combination of a few of her other palettes at this point. I'm not entirely, I guess I don't really like this. I don't. And I feel like Natasha Denona has a lot of really die-hard like fans that will kind of just buy whatever she puts out. I'm not vibing with this one. I do like that it's the $65 version, so it's like the somewhat smaller version. Like, I do like that. I think that making more of those is a really good idea and is smart, because it's just so much more accessible, and if people really want to get one, it's like way more achievable than a freaking $130 eyeshadow palette. But I'm personally not in love with this one. No, I wouldn't know what to do with this. I don't know, maybe I'm just not creative enough. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with this palette. Okay, finally. I try really hard not to talk too much about Jaclyn Cosmetics launches, especially after my last video talking about like the new lipsticks, just because I feel like I don't want to seem like I'm just constantly like hating or whatever, because I'm really not trying to. Like, I really hope she has her redemption and everything. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but I just think like these brightening powders, the shade range is, I don't even know what was the point of coming out with 4. Like, I genuinely don't know. And this, it's not like it's just her brand. Like, lots of brands do things like this. But I think the thing that's frustrating to me is that a lot of creators, because it's Jaclyn and people she has like a lot of connections within the community, a lot of creators really praise these launches from her and talk about like how amazing they are. Whereas if this was like another brand, I think everybody would be talking about how abysmal the shade range is. Like, there's nothing, it's literally white, a teeny bit less white, and then literally Cheeto dust orange for the deep palette. And it just makes no sense to me how this type of palette got through literally any teams. Like who do you have working for you? It's obviously a lot of white people, because I feel like if you had people of color in the room of meetings, like for these products, this would not have ever come out. There would have been a significant, much better gradient, much better. Like, it just doesn't even seem like there was a point. I feel like it almost would have been better if she had just done like the all brightening one and then was like, that's the product. Like, to try to come out with 4 with the veil of inclusion and then just not do it is just so bizarre to me. I think a lot of times that people, especially influencers, are somewhat afraid of criticizing Jaclyn at this point, because she does get a lot of unnecessary hate and you don't want to seem like you're piling on to that. And that's not my intention with this. I just think that her brand should hear that criticism from like people in the industry and like know better, because this isn't the first face product she's launched that's been very heavily criticized for the shade range. The bronzers that she launched, I think it was bronzers and blushes or whatever it was, were very heavily criticized for not having an inclusive shade range. So this is apparently kind of a problem across the board with her brand, and I really do wish more people were calling it out, because stuff like this, it's like, this is just bad. Like, that's the only way to put it. It's bad. It's really bad. If this was any other brand, this would have been blasted. Like, I don't really understand that. It makes me sad because I actually have heard it's an amazing formula. That's what I hear about all of her products, literally, is that they're like amazing formulas and they're so good. But like, this isn't going to work for a huge majority of her audience and her consumer base. And like, they were just ignored. If you're not Wonder Bread, you're ignored by the Jaclyn Cosmetics makeup. And I think that's just kind of bullshit. Like, I just don't think that's okay. I don't know how this got back. I know they're trying to say like, oh, it's brightening, so that's why. No. Literally, the light to medium swatches and the fair to light swatches are the exact same. Exact same. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me, you guys. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just like, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with some links and information and my little social justice spotlight that you should absolutely go check out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!